1991, Acura, Honda, they brought the NSX to the United States. It was a 3-liter V6, and oddly enough, out of all the cars that we tested, it was the only one that did not have turbos. Also, it was the most exotic looking car of all these cars. Still today, you see an Acura NSX on the road, a lot of people don't know what it is. They think it may be a Ferrari or something like that. It's a special car in the JDM car culture because it is the NSX. It is special. It's high revving, it stops good, it looks great. Some of these cars don't have power steering. They did that for weight. I think they produced this car from 91 to 2005. Somewhere in the early 2000s, it got a facelift. It went from pop-up headlights to projector lights. And then I think in 95 or 96, they started doing these cars with a removable top. There's a couple different variants you could get. I know they made an NSX-R. Now, I don't know the ins and outs, but I know Colin will. If Colin wants to step in, he'll tell us a little bit more about his car. Thanks for bringing it out and running it. So tell us all there is to know about the NSX, because I'm not an NSX guy.
Well, the NSX, it kind of changed the supercar world, or changed all car worlds. Before, it's like if you get a Ferrari or something, good luck. You know, a lot of maintenance. Drive it once in a while and have it worked on constantly. They kind of got with Senna and said we want to make Honda came out and said we want to make something that's reliable, that is that drives well, it's balanced, it's everything in it. When you get in one of these cars, you kind of go, it's smooth, it's so balanced,
for sure,
so well done.
The quality of the interior to me is phenomenal for early '90s. I mean, it's great.
Yeah, well, this car, squeaks less than, this car is, 30 years old, and it squeaks less than some of my newer cars that are, have less miles.
Sure.
And so the thing is so well built, so solid, the engine's so smooth. And at first, I came from the drag racing world, so at first you get into the car and you're like, man, I think I want more power. But then you take it around the road, of course, or you do something like that, and you're like, okay, it's actually pretty fast, pretty smooth.
So how much power does the factory NSX motor hold? Now, isn't there something about, like, they're coated differently, like a Nicosil coating or something like that with the cylinder walls? Or...
They've done a lot of cool things with this engine. So it's a race engine that they've done a lot of things to. So it's got titanium rods from the factory. Wow. It's got it's a high revving engine, so they've done all kinds of things to handle the RPMs. I have one NSX that has 200,000+ miles on it. That's stock.
Really?
And it runs. It's reliable. It runs smooth. Everything is wonderful with it.
That's awesome.
So it's they're great cars. It's not uncommon to hear of an NSX with 200,000+ miles on it that still drives and runs.
It's the Honda reliability.
Yeah, it is. But to me, like, it's the ultimate car is, it's funny you say you've tested only turbocharged cars.
Yeah.
This car is great in 1990.
Right. They make like 270 horsepower, something like that?
270, and then in the 3.2 liter came out and made 290.
Okay.
That's still not enough power.
Right.
So nowadays, we're all, turbo technology is so good that we, if you turbocharge one of these, and even if you don't build the motor, but you just, remote turbocharge one of these, you can make 380 to 420 very reliably, and the car is magnificent. Build the engine, do some minor things, and you can get 450 to 550 pretty reliably, and drive the car daily, race it. And to me, that's the perfect car.
Yeah, so you're getting modern car performance with '90s looks in a car that a lot of people don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah. I still get that. Like, people, obviously some people joke with you and go, "Oh, nice Ferrari" and stuff like that. But then there's some people who really are honest. And they go, what car is that? What is this? And I usually say it's a Honda, and they'll say, yeah, whatever. What is it? Yeah, so.
Now, they offered this car an automatic transmission variant as well, right? But they didn't make as many. So they were quite a bit slower, if I remember, because obviously reading the magazine, playing the video games, they were slower. So obviously we're going to be using Draggy tomorrow. So what kind of times do you think this thing will turn?
Well, this should turn, 1370s to 1420s, right in that range, depending on how the surface is.
Correct.
If I'm willing to launch it, how hard.
And this car is stock? It just has wheels?
This car has wheels on it, and then I did do a catback exhaust on it.
So minimal mods.
Yeah, minimal mods. It's nothing for power really. Right. So I did it because the Honda Accord looking exhaust tips I didn't like, so it has an
Now, in my mind, not being an NSX guy, is the 3-liter out of the other Hondas the same as this motor? Obviously the titanium rods are different.
It's a C, so the angle's a little bit different. Like, a lot of people nowadays are swapping the
Like the
minivan motors,
Yeah.
the J motors, because they're cheap.
Right.
And so you boost them, you blow it up. Who cares? It's the the Honda guys are
Correct.
just like, just throw a J motor in it,
Yeah.
boost it. If it blows up, throw another one in it. It's
Yeah.
too cheap. I'm more of a, I wouldn't say purist, because I'll boost it and I'll do all kinds of things, but you have to enjoy this motor for what it is.
Sure.
You have to enjoy this car for what it is.
Right.
It doesn't need to make 1,000 horsepower. I have other cars that do that. This
Right.
car at 500-600 horsepower is awesome.
And they sound phenomenal. Your white car that's turbocharged sounds, it sounds exotic. It sounds like a Ferrari or a Lambo, it's awesome. So do you think it's going to run somewhere in the high 13s, low 14s? Obviously, you never know in that condition on that road, because obviously, we're doing non-prep surfaces, non-professional drivers, everyday guys that drive these cars. So, we may not get the times that Motor Trend said we should run, but Kong's been racing a very long time. He's a great wheelman, so if anybody's going to do it, I think he's going to be the one that gets as close to the magazine numbers as we can. So I'm pretty anxious to see how he does tomorrow. And you got anything else to add about the NSX?
To me, the best 90s car out there. I know you disagree with me.
Well, you got some RX-7s too.
I do love the RX-7, but that's kind of like a...
He has an LS swapped RX-7.
Yeah, I do. But I also have the rotary still.
And a 3 rotor he's building.
Yes, and I love the 2 rotor.
Yeah. And we're going to feature his 3 rotor car when it gets done, so that's going to be really cool as well. Yep. So on Kong's white car that we're going to be testing, it's a small turbo built motor car. Don't know a lot about it, but it's pretty damn quick and it sounds phenomenal. So obviously it probably has the ceiling to make a lot more power, but it's a street car. I think, what do you keep it around, 300-400 wheel?
This one I have it right now just at 400.
And what turbo's on it?
It's an old 35.
Oh, 35. Garrett turbo or Precision?
It's a Garrett.
Okay. And is it a T4 or T3 or?
It is a T. It's kind of a T3. Yeah, it's a T3 because it's got a little bitty. We try to get it to spool a bit faster. Yeah.
On these cars, where do you guys put the turbo? Are they tucked underneath or up on top?
It depends. So there are kits that you can do twin turbo.
Oh wow!
And that's pretty cool. One company makes it, and it's neat because it puts it up higher, and the oil drain back's a little bit better.
You don't have to have a scavenge pump or anything like
that. This particular car we have. We have a turbo located up higher, so it drains oil back better, so it doesn't require a scavenge pump. And on the white one, we did the same thing.
Now, this is the car you raced in the Optima series, right?
Correct. So this car races in the Optima series. So it's a wide body NSX. I had to boost up a little bit higher on this one, so we turn it up. We have 335 tires on the rear that fit under it, don't stick out. It's not really stance or anything. I don't do that. The front, we have bigger fenders and 275s. This Comptech wide body kit, so it's a great car. But I'm competing against new cars that have
that's
$800,000.
kind of the premise of this video. This car fits it. I mean, we're taking old cars with modern day technology, ethanol fuels, and billet wheel turbos, and we're competing against the newest cars in the market, just to show you what these great '90s cars were capable of. So, what kind of power does this car make?
This car has made as much as 7.
Okay.
You can't road race it with that much because heat and stuff. So right now I'm working on it a little bit. So I usually race it around 550 to 600 area.
So you kind of got one of everything. You got a stock one. You got the white one in the 400 range, and you got this one that can, the ceiling is 700, but you keep it around 500. Right. So it sounds like you got the best of everything on the, NSX world. So tomorrow we're going to be testing your white car. What do you think it's going to run? Because you're going to be racing, right? I'm
going to be racing, so I'm going to be out of town. So my good friend Chris is going to run it for me, and he hasn't driven that car or cars like that, so he asked not to crank it up too much. So I'm probably going to set it at 400. Yeah, just have the boot. So it may be a touch laggy, but that'll be good. So it doesn't hit hard on them and
makes sense. Yeah, because we're going to do your red car, then you got to get out of there to go road race, right?
Yeah, I've got a race to get to. So So hopefully he enjoys it and hopefully has a good time with it. So you want me to guess on the car?
Yeah. Has it ever been down the quarter mile?
No, I haven't, because not that setup. I haven't, because that was a car that we kind of took it, and it was a higher mile car, and we went through everything.
So is that the one you were talking about that has over like 200,000 miles?
Yeah, it had 200,000 miles on it. The engine was great, no problems at all, and we said, let's take it apart and put a turbo on it, and let's do some things. So I built a motor for it and all that, because it's such a good car. And that one's a Targa, so it's a little bit heavier. It's 96, so 95, 96 cars are a little bit heavier, and they came with a 3.0. They hadn't gone to the 3.2 yet. So the 3.2s added 20 horsepower and the 6-speed and so on. And so this car, 95s, 96s were known to be a little bit slower because they had the old engine, but they were a little bit heavier.
95, 96, they're converting over to OBD2 emissions during that time too.
Correct. Right in that period, there's OBD2. Yeah. So there's a lot of things up in the air about that.
Yeah, because it's crazy, and I don't know if you guys know, but in 95, 96, we lost a lot of really cool cars. The 300ZX was ceased production in 96, the Dodge Stealth in 96, you lost the FDRX7 in 95. I mean, the government was coming in and cracking down on all these turbos, cars with turbos and the emissions, so a lot of these guys, they couldn't make their cars meet emission standards, so you lost them. You know, you kept the NSX, the 3000 GT, and the Supra, but the rest of the cars kind of got put on the chopping block. Now, I know in the Supra world in 96, I always get it mixed up, I'm sure you guys will correct me, but it was either you didn't get an automatic transmission or you didn't get a manual transmission in 96. One was not offered because it didn't pass OBD2 emissions. So in 95 and 96, when that happened, it changed the way that car manufacturers had to do things. So it's pretty crazy to think that the government came in and said, you're going to have to put these emission standards, these extra catalytic converters on it, and so the manufacturers just walked away from these projects. The RX-7 was only a 93, 94, 95 model year in the United States, so it's pretty crazy when you start talking about emissions. So Chris is going to drive the car, and I'm anxious to see what it'll do. The NSX obviously is going to be a pretty cool car to see it go down the road, and hopefully you guys enjoy this, and thanks for having your cars, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. So kind of as expected, Kong killed it. He was able to go 1390 at 102 miles an hour. Motor Trend tested the car at 13.9 at 101. So 20 plus years of wear and tear. And the only thing he's added is lightweight wheels and a catback exhaust system. He ran the exact same time and 1 mile an hour faster. It's pretty remarkable. With his white car, he was able to go 1340 at 117 with his friend Chris driving it. Chris, obviously not his car. He didn't want to 60 foot the car very hard, you know, possibly break an axle or something. So with 117 mile an hour trap speed, the car would definitely be good for mid to low 11s with a little bit better 60 foot and obviously in a controlled environment. So what's kind of cool with the NSX was it was able to run 1390 exactly what Motor Trend tested it, and it actually did it quicker than the Supra, who has 2 turbos. So obviously it's not always about the horsepower games, it's obviously about traction and driver. So I hope you guys enjoy the NSX video. It was a lot of fun to film this. Obviously Kong's a good friend of mine, I've known him a long time. He kind of shares the same passions I do of collecting a bunch of different cars. So he doesn't just have NSXs or RX-7s, I mean he has a bunch of stuff. So getting him on board with making these videos, we're going to have more cars to feature soon. So be sure to follow along for that, and hopefully you guys really enjoy the NSX, because the NSX is the most iconic 90s JDM car in my opinion. Yeah, it's not the fastest, but you gotta look at it, it's damn pretty. So hopefully you guys liked it, enjoyed the video. Click subscribe if you like watching these videos, and we'll see you on the next one.